coming back to school with me. We could have done it all so easily.
Hi, my name is Craig Thompson Wood. I'm the board game teacher. Thanks for coming to the classroom. Today we're taking a look at Scattergories by Hasbro. So looking at the report card for Scattergories, I'm going to give the number of players a B+ to an A+. And the reason I give it that range is because in the box you have enough to play with 6 people. But to the clever teacher, there's nothing saying that you couldn't modify the components in such a way and manipulate it to make it so that you could play this even as a class game. So I think that there is that potential to do that, and so I think in that way then what you get, it's like a B+, but with some manipulation you could certainly stretch this up to much more. So for that reason I give it the A+, B+ to A+. So for learning, I'm going to give the game a C. And I give it the C because it doesn't really cover sort of any curricular knowledge. All it's doing is pulling from the students' prior knowledge and encourage them to think quickly and to adhere to a certain format. Let me explain what I mean by that. Every turn you're going to be having one of these cards where people are supposed to be thinking of a particular topic. So, for example, in this one, you're looking at vegetable, provinces, states or provinces, things that you throw away, occupations, appliances, cartoon characters, types of drinks, musical groups, store names, at a hockey game, trees, and personality traits. Okay, so you think of all of those things, but then before you begin the turn, you're going to roll the dice, and you're going to, all those things you mentioned have to begin with the letter E. So vegetable, like eggplant? Is eggplant a vegetable, I guess? States or provinces, so it's tricky and it's difficult. And, you're under a timer. You have a timer with it as well, and so you're trying to think of all these things as fast as you can. So in one of those ways, it's almost like the trivia games where it's rewarding people with better prior knowledge and better knowledge. But then again, sometimes some people think better under pressure. So there's really nothing in there that's going to be improving their math facts or their literacy or anything like that. So for that reason, I just give it the C. For fun, I give the game a B+. I think it's a fun game, and it's with the fast pace and everything, and really trying hard to think of those things. I enjoy these kinds of games, and I think in the right setting with the right people, it can be a lot of fun. I think again, it's doing this kind of thing as a classroom. I have yet to actually try it with my classroom, and I may actually look for a Scattergories for kids because I think my students who are already a high ESL, ELL population, trying to think of personality traits that begin with the letter E. That might be a bit too much for them. So, I would definitely look for a Scattergories Kids if you're going to do it with younger grades. But like this might be great for a high school class, just as something to do as a class for fun, just once in a while. For that reason, I give it the B+. So for costs, I'm going to give the game a B to an A+. Because I give it, again, this game's full of ranges here, but I give it that because it's available currently. I mean, it's a Hasbro game. Those games tend to, stay in production and print forever. And so it's still out there, and you can pick up a new copy for, I believe, around $33. And so that's a decent price. So that's the B. But because it's been around for so long, I mean, this game's been around so long that my copy actually says for letter C words that teachers use carbon paper and watch Cagney and Lacey. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, that's because you're not old like me. So this game has been around for a long time, and therefore I've seen more than one copy of this game in different thrift stores I've been to. So if you keep looking long enough for it, you will find one in a thrift store. When you go to a thrift store, don't necessarily always go for one game in particular in mind. Always just try to keep your mind open to different possibilities, but I've seen this one, like I said, a few times. So it's out there. Just be patient, you'll find it. And then that will be your A+, because it's only going to be like $3-4. All right, so I'm not going to do an express and an extended video for this one because the game of Scattergories is so easy to play. I don't really need to do a full rules explanation. Not that I do a full rules explanation. I'm not. It's just simple enough I can show you quickly, so I still consider it to be express. Whoops. So what every player is going to have, they're going to have one of these little folders here, and inside they have their pad where you're going to play 3 different rounds. On each round, as I mentioned before, you're going to be having a category which you're looking at, and so everybody's going to be looking at the same category. So if I'm doing this one, boys' names, cities, things that are cold, school supplies, pro sports team, insects, and so on, and I'm rolling the dice then it's a J. Everybody now has to write down in the time allotted by the timer. Let me show you the timer. What I'd like to know, Hasbro, is there not a timer that could be made that sounds less annoying than this? Why did I put it on for so long? So everybody's going to be writing down their words on the proper column. Once everybody's done, or once the timer runs out, then you're going to compare. Everybody who has an answer that nobody else came up with may circle their answer, and that's worth 1 point to them. And at the end of each round, you score how many points you have. So if people are sharing answers, then you don't get points for that. The idea is to come up with words that are original. Think outside the box. Think about things that people aren't thinking, and that's how you're going to score your points. You play the 3 rounds, you total up the score points, and that's how you play Scattergories. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. If you have any questions about Scattergories or any of the other games I do on the channel, if you have any suggestions for games you might like to see or topics you might like me to talk about, please leave me a message in the comment section below. But until next time, I'm Craig Thompson with the Board Game Teacher saying thanks for coming to the classroom.
Are you coming back to school?